The red velvet cloth was placed to perfection, on which sat one of the newly elected MPs, the modern kings of democratic India. But this was no throne. It was the darbar or courtroom of Special Judge Vinod S. Padalkar, who was hearing evidence in the 2008 Malegaon blast case. And the accused was none other than Member of Parliament Sadhvi Pragya Singh Thakur, with her name ironically meaning virtuous woman. On September 29, 2008, in the handloom town of Malegaon in Maharashtra, a 2003 gold-colored LML Freedom motorcycle was parked inconspicuously near a mosque along with other bicycles and two-wheelers. Only a few knew that it had been rigged with RDX. In the blast that followed on the eve of Navratri, 6 people were killed and more than 100 injured. India was witnessing a surge in terror attacks by Muslim fundamentalists. But it was the one on Sankat Mochan temple in March 2006 that seemed to be the last straw. Following Swami Asimanand's policy of
bomb ka jawab bomb se, bombs should be answered with bombs,
Maharashtra's anti-terrorist squad ATS claimed that Pragya's group held a meeting in Bhopal on 11th April 2008.
We must take a revenge for the 2006 Mumbai train bombings.
They also claimed an army man, Lieutenant Colonel Prasad Shrikant Purohit, was present when the plan was finalized.
Malegaon is 80% of Muslim. We should target it.
I will provide the explosives.
I will arrange men.
Head of Maharashtra ATS Hemant Karkare, later killed by terrorists in the 26/11 Mumbai attacks, was assigned the case. Against whom the bumbling arsonists were no match. Within a month, the LML was traced back to Pragya. Grilled by Karkare at the less frequented Kalachoki unit of the ATS, Pragya allegedly started to sing, revealing the entire plot. The ATS was shocked to learn that along with a retired army major, there was a serving officer in the Indian Army Police involved. According to the ATS report submitted to court, when they raided the Lieutenant Colonel's home,
Sir, he has RDX inside his house.
They arrested both Sadhvi and Colonel Purohit. In January 2009, Maharashtra police filed a 5,000-page charge sheet against 14 accused, of which 7 now face charges under UAPA. But in 2011, after the National Investigation Agency NIA took over the case, their officer told the court,
ATS planted the RDX.
Pragya too was given a clean chit in 2015 after the NIA said that no evidence was found against her either. But the trial court refused to discharge Pragya from the case and let her remain behind bars.
It is difficult to accept NIA's claim that she has nothing to do with the crime, given that her motorcycle was used in the blast and remained in her name in the RTO.
The ATS and NIA blamed each other of a biased investigation, the crux of it centered around the bike. Absconding but presumed dead co-accused Ramchandra Gopal Singh Kasangra aka Ramji is being made the fall guy.
She gave the bike to Ramji to place at the explosion site. She had given the bike to Ramji 2 years before the incident. She did not know anything.
Based on NIA's report, however, Pragya managed to secure bail from the High Court, by which time she had spent 9 years in jail. The daughter of an RSS worker, Pragya grew up in a Hindu nationalist household but behaved quite against tradition, dressing as a tomboy, wearing jeans, keeping her hair short and her favourite, riding bikes. After joining ABVP in her college years, Pragya fully adopted a life of a sannyasi by joining Swami Avdhishanand Giri in 2007 and donning saffron. Her new choice of attire, her militant attitude and outspokenness made her a favourite among large sections of the Saffron Brigade, whose political arm BJP she joined soon after her release on bail. Senior ministers supported her when she decided to stand for Lok Sabha elections in 2019.
The matter seems to be cooked up. Leave the trial aside. She is out on bail.
Her opponent in Bhopal constituency was the formidable 2-term Congress Chief Minister Digvijaya Singh, whom she went on to trounce by a massive margin of 8.5 to 5 lakh votes. Now, as a lawmaker sitting before the trial judge, she is brazen.
Are you aware of the blasts in Malegaon?
I have no information about it.
Equally brazen are her other utterances.
Nathuram Godse was and always will be a patriot.
Shows no remorse for her alleged remark.
Not enough people died in Malegaon.
Attributes the death of ATS chief Hemant Karkare, who died in the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks because
I cursed him.
Misleads the public towards unscientific paths on how her breast cancer was cured,
Through using cow urine and Panchgavya.
when actually she used chemotherapy and had her breast surgically removed, complaining falsely of torture while in jail to the Human Rights Commission. The 2019 election marks a time in India's evolution when
Fringe elements of the Hinduvita ideology become mainstream.
today, for the first time in our country, India has elected a person accused in a terror case to sit in parliament. Former police commissioner of Mumbai, Julio Ribeiro, remembers Karkare telling him during the course of his investigations in the case.
A former BJP cabinet minister expressed his displeasure over the probe. Don't worry and continue to do what is expected out of a good Hindu performing his dharma.
NIA had previously given a clean chit to terror-accused Swami Asimanand as well, who despite recording his 48-page confession before the Metropolitan Magistrate in Tis Hazari Court, Delhi, retracted it, and the NIA refused to admit it as evidence against him. As the case nears its conclusion, the clock of a hotel near the blast site in Malegaon still shows the same time from when the blast took place a decade ago, 9:35 p.m. While Pragya sits on a red velvet cloth, the ground beneath Malegaon remains red with blood. Bisbo's Limerick. Pragya Singh Thakur now sits in parliament after spending 9 years in jail confinement. Accused of terror, NIA says it's an error. The proof is out there. We reserve our comment. Subscribe to Bisbo's channel and be sure to click on the bell icon. Be the first to know when Bisbo releases a new video.